After Enzo Amore got fucked over by 2018-ism, we knew we were going to get two things tonight. We were going to figure out what the hell they're doing with the Cruiserweight Championship, and we were going to get a new general manager for 205 Live. And all I can say is, at least it wasn't Rey Mysterio. Let's talk about it. What's going on, everybody? It's your buddy, it's your pal Spaz Phoenix, the YWC Reality Check, and do not adjust your sets. I am indeed here to give you your January 30th, 2018 205 Live review. And yeah, despite my sarcasm at the beginning, I figured, okay, they're going to crown a new champion eventually. They're giving us a new general manager for 205 Live. Good a time as any to start reviewing the show. I'm not going to review Raw, I'm not going to review SmackDown because fuck reviewing a 3-hour show. But I am going to start doing 205 Live because it is a fun show to watch, and it is a good background show. I've always liked watching 205 Live. You know, if I've done another video and I'm waiting for it to upload, 205 Live is the show that I'm usually watching while it's uploading. So I figured, what the hell, it couldn't be any worse. And after what we saw at the Royal Rumble, which we're going to talk about later on in the week with Kristen and Guapo when we do the Aftermath video, at the very least, I knew if we came to the show tonight and it was Rey Mysterio, this video would be a good rant, but it's not. We start off the show. First of all, I gotta say, I always talk about, you know, there's no need for a three-man commentary team. Vic Joseph, he's not the greatest commentator in the world, but the team of Vic Joseph and Nigel McGuinness are a pretty damn good commentary team, and it shows that you don't need three commentators. We got the coach back on Raw. And I'm not going to talk about... If there's any cruiserweight shit that happens on Raw, I'll just include it when I do these videos. I mean, these videos as a whole, I'm going to see if they're successful at all. But so I'm not going to dwell too much on Raw, but let's talk about Coach being on Raw, which is fine, I guess, and the retarded graphics that are on Raw now that just drive me nuts. But it wasn't Rey Mysterio. Sorry, I almost lost my train of thought there already. Because I would have ranted on that a whole bunch, because fuck Rey Mysterio. And it wasn't anybody from Raw, which is fun, because the Cruiserweights are technically part of Raw. It was Daniel Bryan that came out, and Daniel Bryan came out, and they had a wide shot of the arena, so all you saw was Daniel Bryan and some other little dude. And as the camera zoomed in closer, I flashed back to Takeover Philadelphia, where we saw EC3 sitting in the front row at the Takeover because he's signed with NXT again. Or should I say EC Space 3, because WWE are still retarded sometimes. And I thought, okay, well that sort of ties in. You know, they've got him, and the rumors are that they've got Rockstar Spud. Maybe they're going to do something there. And I just look, and it pans in, and it pans closer and closer and closer. I'm like, it's not Rockstar. It's not Rockstar. It's Rockstar Spud is the general manager of 205 Live. But it's not Rockstar Spud. Even though there is a rambunctious Rockstar Spud chant, he's introduced as Drake Maverick. In his suit, in his hair, and, you know, he does the whole my lords, ladies and gentlemen thing that he did in TNA, which made me smile. He says that he's worked all his life to get to WWE, and I'm proud to be the new general manager of 205 Live. He announced, you know, for starters, we got to find out what we're doing with this championship. So we're going to have a 16-man elimination tournament, and that tournament is going to culminate at WrestleMania. Great way to start it out, but you look at the 205 Live roster, and, you know, there's not 16 guys there. It's quickly answered not only by one of the matches that we got tonight, but one of the matches that we're going to get next week as well, which we're talking about in a little bit. He announces that the two matches tonight are going to be Cedric Alexander versus GRAN METALIK. I mean, Cedric's going over in that one, isn't he? But he also says it's going to be the first ever Cruiserweight champ, which I love when they say the first ever Cruiserweight champ, because there was definitely a Cruiserweight champion before the purple belt came along. But let's be real, the last person to hold the other belt was Hornswoggle, and do they really want to acknowledge that? But for the sake of the story, we're getting the first ever Cruiserweight champion, TJP, who was TJ Perkins at the time, versus the first ever UK champion in Tyler Bate. So right off the bat, there's somebody that's not on the 205 Live roster, and we're on our way to the races. Cedric Alexander and GRAN METALIK immediately starts after that. Cedric Alexander shakes Drake Maverick's hand on his way to the ring, and then we go to the back where GRAN METALIK is getting a pep talk from Lince Dorado and Kalisto. I do like, and this is one of the one of the many things I wanted to talk about on 205 Live. I like this little faction that they've got here with Kalisto and GRAN, METALIK and Lince Dorado. Now, I'm kind of surprised. Does anybody know, is Sin Cara still employed by the WWE? Because we haven't seen him in a long-ass time. If he is, I know when the Cruiserweight division first started, they tried to pretend that he was under 205. If they throw him into this gimmick as well, it'll be not too bad. Now, you saw all these guys, along with Andrade Cien Almas and Rey Mysterio, taking a bunch of shots at the Royal Rumble, which is all good. It's all fine. You know, the luchadors, and Almas used to be a luchador, and, you know, it is what it is. But it was another thing that really made me nervous. If Rey Mysterio was the general manager, would he be biased to these guys? Because that's a story they could easily do. And heel Rey Mysterio, I'm not saying it's a good enough reason to bring him back into the role, but heel Rey Mysterio would have been a little bit interesting, but then you would have had to turn Kalisto heel, GRAN, METALIK heel, and Lince Dorado heel, which isn't going to happen. Lost my place already. It's super fucking late in the day. I hate how late 205 Live is, and I hate that 205 Live comes on after the Mixed Match Challenge, which I have to wait until tomorrow to review because I have to wait for it to come on Bali Rules because WWE fucked over Canada again. Anyways, they have a handshake to start, very reminiscent of the Cruiserweight Classic. And then we get on our way. Collar and a bow tie up. Cedric works the arm for a little while. Headlock by... Sorry. Cedric works the arm for a little while and switches to a headlock. Head scissors by both men. Arm drag, arm bar combination by METALIK. And a boot to the gut by Cedric. Step up enziguri from the apron by METALIK. Springboard dropkick by METALIK. And a lariat by Cedric. Senton to the outside by Cedric. Followed up with a straight jacket choke. Headlock takedown by Cedric. Some chops and a neuralizer. I don't know why it's called the neuralizer, but whatever. Super kick by METALIK and a second rope dropkick. He hits his own version of a dive to the outside, and we hear something that I've never heard before. Now, we've heard ECW chants. We, to this day, hear NXT chants. Back in the day when it was relevant, we heard TNA chants. This is the first time ever, ladies and gentlemen, that I have heard 205 chants. And that's good. That's promising for the brand as a whole. Splash by METALIK. Uppercut by Cedric, followed by the Spanish Fly. The Spanish Fly is awesome. I've loved the maneuver, the Spanish Fly, ever since, who was it in, speaking of TNA, who was it in TNA? It was Kazarian in TNA that did the Spanish Fly off the top rope, but he called it the Flux Capacitor, which made me smile because Back to the Future is awesome. Chops by METALIK and a step up enziguri. Both men climb up to the top turnbuckle, and METALIK hits a jumping head scissor from the top rope, and they both come down hard. Both men trade punches for a while. Cedric goes for the lumbar check, and METALIK counters it into a hard DDT. METALIK hits a moonsault that's blocked by Cedric. He hits the lumbar check successfully the second time. Lumbar check is a fucking brilliant maneuver too, isn't it? It's fucking good, and it looks like it hurts. Makes me think of, again, we're going to talk about NXT at a later date, but if you saw the backbreaker or the back splash maneuver that oh, what the fuck is his name? Why can't I think tonight? Aleister Black did to Adam Cole, where he was going to do with the chairs in, and then he flipped it around so that the chairs were facing out, so that the spines were up in the middle. That's fucking dirty. Anyways, that obviously gets the win for Cedric. Cedric, they've been trying to inch Cedric closer and closer and closer to the championship for a while now. Well, here, WWE, let me give you a little memo. If you hadn't fucked over my boy, you would have just had that match at WrestleMania. But it is what it is. I'm going to be doing a video on that at a later date, so before you get on me in the comment section, I got reasons for saying what I'm saying. Anyways, because we're going to see Tyler Bate in the main event tonight, we see a video package on Tyler Bate, which is great, except it's repetitive. This is the video package we saw about Tyler Bate during the UK tournament. This is the video package we've seen on Tyler Bate every time he's gone back to try and get his title back. This is the video package we've seen on him at TakeOver. This is the video package we've seen on him a fair few times when he's competed on NXT. So we need something different. And we all know who he is. Listen to the crowd during the match later on. They know who he is. Jack Gallagher cuts a promo in the back. I hate this thing, by the way. And it's happening on Raw, it's happening on SmackDown, it's happening fucking everywhere. There are no backstage segments anymore. Everybody's just fucking around with their phones. But Jack Gallagher congratulates his fellow countrymen on the new job as general manager of 205 Live. He hopes his fellow countrymen understands how important it is to have a gentleman in the match at WrestleMania, which is nice. And then Gulak finds... I'm going to forget his name because it's Rockstar Spud, isn't it? Gulak finds Drake Maverick and presents him with a congratulatory bouquet of flowers, which Maverick proceeds to just laugh about and hand off to a tech and walk away, which makes me laugh. Gulak, the whole, like, politician gimmick that he does is good. It's not going to go anywhere. It's not going to become anything, but he is 205's answer to Jason Jordan right now, and I don't know who that's sadder for. Jack Gallagher as the evil Englishman that fights in the suit. He makes me, and you're going to laugh at me when I say this, all of you. So I'm giving you free carte blanche to laugh at me. Jack Gallagher reminds me of William Regal in his really, really Healy days. The suit thing it just adds to it. So anyways, bottom line, you get a bunch of other people. You get Mustafa Ali talking about how important this tournament is for him, Roddy Rah, and then you get Tozawa, who's still in a suit like he's been the past couple of weeks, doing his Vince McMahon impressions. He's very upset that he didn't get the job of general manager of 205 Live, but now he can win the tournament and go on to WrestleMania and become champion, and then he'll be able to tell everybody that they're fired, and he walks away with the oversized suit and the Vince McMahon walk. They come back to ringside. Nigel McGuinness is like, I'm not sure if he knows that that's how it works, which is fucking wonderful. I love Tozawa. And call me racist if you want. Tozawa and Hideo Itami need to be a tag team. It'll be good. It'll be fantastic. Fine, whatever, just do it. TJP versus Tyler Bate is the main event of the evening. 2 matches tonight, 2 matches that got a lot of fucking time, and if this is how they're basically recreating the Cruiserweight Classic, which I fucking love, but they're doing it in front of a live crowd, which means once again that Tyler Bate, who doesn't get a lot of screen time at all, gets to perform in front of a live crowd. Now, I will say, on a regular basis, 205 Live doesn't really get much of a crowd response because they've sat through dark matches and the Mixed Match Challenge and 205 Live and SmackDown. So the fact that there was a fair bit of support for Tyler in this match. I mean, a couple TJP chants here and there, but not very many. Anyways, collar and elbow type starting. Bate works the wrist. TJP rakes the face, and he pulls off that handstand head scissor thing that he does. You know, the thing where he does the handstand, head scissors them down, turns it immediately into a headlock, and dabs while they're in the headlock, which is just obnoxious enough to be. I want there to be a faction, and then Enzo's gone, and it's bad. Instead of the Zoe Train, instead of the Miz Taraj, you just should have made a faction out of the Miz, Enzo Amore, and TJP, the most obnoxious faction in all of the WWE, and I want them to get cheap bullshit victories over all the factions that you love. Get cheap bullshit victories over the Luchadors, bullshit victories over the New Day, bullshit victories over Sanity, bullshit victories over the Shield. I don't give bullshit victories over the Club. Ooh, I said it. Yes. Oh, yes. Pinning reversal sequence and a surfboard stretch by TJP that eventually gets reversed by Bate. Standing pendulum. Here's the deal. We got the surfboard by TJP. Bate a lot in this match. Did the whole, okay, you want to do that? I can do it too. You guys know that have been watching my videos. What do I love more than anything else in a match? Anything you can do, I can do better. Surfboard stretch by TJP. Reversed by Bate, but then Bate stands up in the surfboard stretch to turn it into a pendulum backbreaker. Fucking beautiful. So, shoulder tackle by Bate. Drop kick and a suicide dive. Leg DDT by TJP, working the leg. Bate eats the turnbuckle hard. Mudhole stomp by TJP. Snap vertical suplex twice by TJP. Shoulder lock. I would normally say shoulder block if I was talking with somebody like Cena, but it actually says shoulder lock, and I can read my writing, I promise. Corner tackles by Bate. Single leg crab, but on the top turnbuckle. TJP grabs Bate's leg in a half Boston Crab position and climbs up the turnbuckle with the belt. So not only does he have him in the half Boston Crab, but he's hanging by his leg from the top turnbuckle, which is fucking great. Now the commentators debated this because, you know, when you're using the turnbuckles, you can only do it for 5 seconds. Right. If it was in a crab, then he could hold it for however long he wants, as long as he's not near the ropes. But I think the fact that not only was he in the crab, not only was he in the crab position, but he was also, you know, holding up all of his own body weight on his leg, counteracts that point. Let me know what you think if you saw this match. I know not a whole lot of people watch 205 Live, but I'm just saying, for the people that do, let me know what you think about that. Should he do it in the center of the ring so that he can do it longer, or should he take it up the turnbuckle to increase the pressure? What do you guys think? Front slam and a slingshot cinch on by TJP. High knee by Bate. Collar back up. And I love this too. Every time he went with the knee strike, he went back to the knee, selling the knee. The whole story of this match was his knee. Slingshot senton by TJP, high knee by Bait, corner back elbow by Bait, bridging German suplex by Bait, even though you could see him being very tender on the knee. And he kicks... and a series of kicks to the knee by TJP. Exploder suplex and a running star press. It's not a shooting star press because it wasn't from the top rope. So a running star press by Bait. Both men trade punches, uppercuts, and boots. Knee bar by TJP, working the leg. Lariat by Bait and an airplane spin, to which the commentators and Bait both show us that the airplane spin fucked up his leg even more. Left hand by Bait, knee bar by TJP once again, uppercut by Bait. They try to do something off the top rope, but TJP quickly turns it into a roll-up on the bad leg with the tights. TJP gets the win, and it's all good as we go off the air. As we go off the air, not only do we have TJP advancing, Cedric Alexander advancing, which, I'm sorry, was pretty damn obvious, but next week, we've got Kalisto versus Lince Dorado, so you've got two members of that little faction facing each other. But for you NXT fans out there, we've got Hideo Itami versus Roderick fucking Strong. I hope Hideo goes over because I'm sorry, but as far as my interest goes, fuck Roderick Strong. But this is going to be a lot of fun, and if this is my introduction to reviewing these shows, it's going to be a lot of fun. It's less than an hour of content for me to come up here and talk to you guys about, and my counter's barely sitting at 15 minutes. Can you imagine? Do you remember when I used to review Raw, when the review was like 45-50 minutes because Raw's garbage? This is why I'm reviewing 205 Live. This is why I'm reviewing NXT. This is why I'm reviewing the Mixed Match Challenge. They're simple, easy things to do, and I can't find anybody that I'm familiar with on YouTube that's reviewing 205 Live. That's the other main reason I want to do this. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know if this is worth my time, realistically, because other than this and NXT and the Mixed Match Challenge and all the other shit that I do, I could focus on those things if you guys genuinely don't care about this, but I am going to do this at least through WrestleMania. I'm going to follow this tournament through like I did with the Cruiserweight Classic. The other thing that I want to say, Cedric Alexander, if they're basically recreating the Cruiserweight Classic, you know he's probably going to make it near the end. You guys know that I reviewed the Cruiserweight Classic. Go back and watch my reviews if you really want to, but they're kind of out of date now. One of the coolest moments from the Cruiserweight Classic was when Cedric Alexander lost. The entire NXT arena was chanting, "Please sign Cedric," and Triple H came out to give him, you know, the raise of the hand and the nod. So I gotta believe that Cedric Alexander is going to go far in this. TJP may or may not. Like, it might be one of those his Healy tactics catch up to him or some shit like that. I don't... What bothers me about it is you're going to get guys, you know, that are not on 205 Live, like a Tyler Bate, who's from the UK division, which is awesome. It's awesome to see him. It's awesome for him to get exposure, and I like those guys. But they're not going to advance, are they? It's the same as Roderick Strong. Roderick Strong's good in the ring, etc., etc., etc. But we know Hideo Itami's the one that's actually in the division. He's going to advance next week. I'm predicting that right now. I've rambled long enough. This was a lot of fun. I've been Spaz, your YWC Reality Check. Subscribe up there, talk down there, start a conversation, keep all these conversations going. Don't be a stranger. I'll talk to each and every last one of you later, but for right now, I am tagging out. Bye, guys.